Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
Well, of course, time to talk auto steer and some updates and technology that's available there. We are excited to have Andrew Pierce here, product sales specialist with Ag Leader, to give us a quick insight as to what we're learning about.
Yeah, just found out he's kind of a farm neighbor of mine a little bit. I mean, what is it? If you're within 20, 30 miles, you're a neighbor?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, yep. So, no, I know his Uncle Rod pretty good. So, yeah, it's nice to have that connection. So, how's the year been going for you?
Pretty good.
Yep.
Weather's been decent anyway so far.
Yep.
None of that severe weather yet.
Yeah.
So
Do we have an auto steer button we can just hit when we start the podcast?
Oh,
It's like, I'll just take it off,
there you go.
AI, you know?
Nope, there's no AI.
The avatar.
We are who we are.
Yeah.
We've tried turning ourselves into cartoons. It doesn't work.
No.
No, that's good because there's no joke, no funny business when talking about auto steer, especially with Ag Leader. So give us an idea of what's involved with that from your perspective.
ooh. Kind of a loaded question, but no, we've got quite a few different avenues to go. Anywhere from just your assisted steering for those older tractors that don't have some of the steering valves on it already, or maybe physically can't get those put on. Just simply mounts to the existing steering wheel the customer has, and then we go all the way up to our integrated steering where we're tying into an existing valve, we're adding a hydraulic valve to the machine, really giving that best auto steer experience for the customer. Yeah. So,
Because it goes on any brand.
yes, any brand. I've seen it put on UTVs. We've got a couple demo units that we put our steering system on. Our training center's got it on Kubota UTVs. They put hydraulic steering on.
Yep.
So go anywhere from that all the way up to your tractors, combine sprayers.
What about Corey's tracker?
Chevy Tracker, like a vehicle.
They did once upon a time, I think, have it on I think it was a minivan or something. I think they rigged it up for a demo or something, but probably don't recommend it.
I'm going to say anything's possible, but you got to be pretty handy if you want to make something like that work.
Yeah.
Because I doubt Ag Leader's going to come throw it on there. Now, some people have trackers or the Geo, what are they?
Metro, not Metro.
Not Metros, but anyway, the tracker platform. Some people have those for like soil sampling rigs.
Oh yeah.
So you would want GPS on to get to the right
Right.
spot and all
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
when I was in tech support years ago, I had a customer call in and asked they were wanting to put it on a boat. They were running a dredger in the lake, and we're curious about it. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen because it was just a drag chain. So if no idea where that chain was actually going to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you start turning that boat, your train compensation is going to be messed up pretty quick.
But GPS has been huge in nautical and in the boating world and in the air. So I imagine like agriculture was probably a little late to the game
yeah.
in that aspect.
Now, do you know how many of, percentage-wise of producers have auto steer today?
I would say it's probably a large percentage, but there's still a pretty good percentage that doesn't have anything today.
What is the argument that the people holding out are giving?
I think they're nervous about the technology.
Yeah.
They just know that, hey, we want to go out and we want to plant or we want to run when we go.
Yeah.
They don't want to worry about satellites or corrections or anything like that.
I've got a couple friends that I would say were, trying to get by on the cheap, and they're saying, well, I can drive it. I can use my markers. I can do a good job with tillage, just like Dad did, just like Grandpa did, and I'm getting by just fine. And then all of a sudden they dipped their toe in the water.
Yep.
And got like a easy steer.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they saw how efficient they were, and boom, all of a sudden now they got real clutches, and now they're adding it to their
Yep.
combine and all this, and it's just like this snowball effect. Once they see the light, it's very interesting.
And that's where we started on our farm was, we're never gonna get that. We don't need it. A lot of technology, a lot of things to go wrong.
Yeah.
And we got a demo of an easy steer put on with our disc ripper tractor.
Okay.
And Dad left my brother and I and said, "You guys figured out harvest was still going." So we took it off and we're calling them, "This is awesome. Like, we got it. Where have we been not having this?" And So then he came out when they took a break from harvest and, when we're running 12.5 feet and you start overlapping, 1.5 feet, you're cutting your efficiency real fast.
Yeah.
And so now it's gotten to the point it's snowballed. We've got the now electric drives and downforce in the planter and shutoffs on the sprayer, yield monitor on the combine, and now if something doesn't work, now we gotta stop. We can't run without it, and so it's just amazing how far and how fast that got implemented.
Yeah, that's true. The auto steer seems like the gateway to
Right.
getting into the rest of precision products. ChatGPT told us that about 60+% rely on auto steer systems for row crop farmers. But it was interesting. The two other facts it gave us is no-till operations are about another 8 to 9% more likely to have auto steer, and beyond that, larger farms are even higher adoption. And I could totally see that on the efficiency side when you get with scale.
Yep.
The no-till one's interesting.
It is. I could go two different ways with that. I would have thought maybe it could have dropped.
Yep.
Right? Maybe, the old school no-till, but I think no-till is getting pretty precise, and they want to know exactly where they're putting, especially if chat is considering strip till a no-till option,
yep.
like
And
the government
it's almost
does on a lot of things.
necessity.
Strip till, almost everyone is on
Yep.
GPS.
And when I was at No-Till conference this year, I led a roundtable on precision ag paybacks, and I posed the question to the group. I said, if somebody were to come in tomorrow and take all precision ag off your farm except one thing, what's staying? And about 80% of them in the room said auto steer. They wouldn't give that up, and I think the rest of them were row shutoffs.
Yeah.
So,
Well, think about what it allows you to do. Sure, you can have a globe on and not have auto steer, but since that globe's on there, you're geospatially knowing right where the machine is. So when you take it to what hybrid is planted here?
yeah,
What did I apply here for fertilizer? What population did I plant? Okay, now take it to the combine. What is that? So that's how you make your decisions on the farm, right? This is a business, and we need to know exactly what's working so we can improve our farm every year.
yep.
That is kind of neat to do. But now I want to know what's down the road. Where are we headed?
Ooh, a lot of different things. So obviously autonomy is the big elephant in the room. When it comes to some of the technology and where is it going in agriculture, which we're definitely keeping an eye on it. We're kind of focused on what are things that we can work to get that way, still while keeping operators in the cab. I think getting true driverless machines out there is a little ways off. We're looking at some of those smaller things, so like our Card Ace is an example. When we think about labor and some of those challenges, it's getting hard to find experienced operators. You can find drivers that, I can drive a tractor, but when you get in the grain cart, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
From the outside, it doesn't look like much, but once you get in there, it's never the combine driver's fault. It's always the grain cart. So allowing them to, hey, let's just take the steering portion away from you.
Yeah.
Let's automate that and let you focus on lining up front to back with the combine and focusing on what trucks need to get loaded and things like that. So how do we take some of those small portions? The other one that we've had in the last couple of years is turn path. Hey, it's pretty easy to turn on the end, but hey, let's take that feature away. Take that or operation away from that operator, so they can focus on maybe getting the planter or implement raised at the right time. Maybe take a look at back behind, is something plugged up, is something not look right when they raise on the end, and then turn around and be right online when they come back in. So
that is the best opportunity to see what's going on if you're dragging or something like that. And I had a Snapchat earlier this year. I was turning manually right in front of the neighbor farmer's house, right out their kitchen window, and I slowed way down, and I was like, no farmer goes as slow turning than right in front of the neighbor's house. Because you want to come in nice and straight.
You don't want to wiggle.
Well, and we can set it. We've got ours set. It comes pretty close to the fence, but
Yeah.
I have zero concern when we turn around that it's gonna.
The problem
Get
is
that
when I
far out.
slow down like that, it's not my normal deal, so I mess it up
Yep.
because like I'm way out of like it because it gets to be a routine.
And we've even done on our vertical till machine, just because you need to run faster with it, that we'll jump a couple passes so we can stay. We don't have to slow down as far or fast or as much, and then we don't have to make as tight a turn, so we can kind of keep it mid idle or higher, making that turn, and just keep moving faster. So
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so that turn maybe is longer, but it doesn't take as long as if I were turning right around.
Yeah, and that's skip pass. I mean, we do that. The little bit of ripping we do, like custom, we don't do much anymore, but it's such a small ripper. Like, you got to crank that tractor all the way around. It's not good for the gudgeon, you know, of the tractor and all that if you have an articulated tractor, and so you're better off skipping.
Yeah, so I know when that came out, it was the year before it came out, we were able to, several of us internal employees were able to run it. I asked Dad, I was like, well, do you want to run it? Before I could even, finish the question, it was yes. And then the next year when we were starting to test the In-Command Go displays in the field on a larger scale, we asked about putting that in, and it was, well, does it have turn path on it? Because if it doesn't, I don't want it. Yeah. So once he's added, it's well, got to have it now.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about just in this short conversation, the two angles of if you don't have it, you're going to not realize what you're missing.
Yep.
And then once you do have it, what that next level upgrade is.
Right. There's been a few stories from our TMs that they have a dealer, the displays have a 24-hour demo, and they'd get text about for a couple months after it was released, and got a couple more. Well, you can take my money. Because once they tried it, they didn't want to give it up, and that's been an effective tool across a lot of our products, is getting out right in front of the customer and them physically seeing it or trying it on their own operation has been effective.
So if we struck a nerve with a listener during this and they finally caved, they want to get started, or it's time for an upgrade, how best do they get that information?
So you get to our website. That's going to have a spot where you can fill in an interest form. That'll then get divvied out to our territory managers and get you lined up with your closest dealer, or if you know who your dealer is, that's going to be your best avenue. They'll be able to get out, visit that machine, and take a look what you got and kind of show some of the different options where you can go from there. So.
Yep. So we're getting to the end of July. We got about a month and a half, 2 months till harvest. Is there any special programs that you guys are promoting for harvest time?
Yeah, so we do have a display and steering trade-in program that'll run through the end of August. So that's a good opportunity to, if you don't have maybe an older system, some of those earlier systems are getting quite a bit of age on them. Some of those components are end of life, and so that'd be a good opportunity to get into the newer systems and get some of today's features.
This is like a cash for clunkers for GPS systems. So what do you do with the old stuff? Do you guys recycle that, or is there a market for that?
No, a lot of it we recycle. A lot of some of those older components, if they're an older ag leader product, make some repair parts because we can't get some of those components anymore.
I was gonna say you need to make a program from that to go to people like Tanner's dad who doesn't have GPS yet, and go, all right, here we got a really cheap way for you just to see this. This is really old technology, but here, try this.
Yep. The whole you can't just eat one potato chip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and others we just tend to scrap. Just kind of depends on the situation, the condition they're in, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Good. Well, the last thing we haven't talked about is Right Path, and that was something that just came out this spring, I believe.
Yeah, so we announced it here this winter at the winter trade shows. We're working on some of the finishing touches of that. Hope to have that here for this fall. But yeah, it's amazing some of the need for that passive implement guidance that's been really eye-opening in some of the field testing going on. How much some of those implements really do drift.
Yeah.
You mentioned strip till. That's kind of the one obvious one of where it's needed when you get into some of the contours and curves. But we even just at our farm with some of the flat square fields, we realized how much our planter is actually offline.
And before this, the only way you could do it was either you had a steerable axle on the implement, or you had one of those hitches
Yep.
that kind of shift back and forth.
Yep. So
this allows you to just, well, you have to have a globe on the implement.
Yep. So you have to have another receiver on the implement, and that helps position that location. It also helps some of that modeling and things of knowing where that implement is rather than just relying on some measurements from the tractor and back.
So like for strip tilling or planting, you know exactly where that row, drop the seed, put that nutrient, made that bed, and yeah, it helps out a lot.
Yep. So
very cool.
That is really cool. Well, I appreciate you coming in, dodging raindrops on your way over. But it's always good to share those updates with our listeners and get some great information out there for our partners. Thank you for doing that.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Yep. Thanks, Andrew.